Hello, everybody. I've had a few hours and some time to reflect on what happened at Tribal Council and to think about what's going on in the game moving forward. So I just kind of wanted to address that because in my exit confessional, I didn't really explain what I was feeling. I was just shocked. I was just trying to think about the numbers and what made the most sense. But after some reflection and then eventually a text confirmation from a former contestant, I found out for sure what the votes and how the votes lied. So, as we know, 3 people voted me out. Those three people were Addie, Derek, and Mike. In addition, me and Austin tried to vote out Summer, and Summer voted out Austin. It's very interesting to think about because Derek basically did what Summer told him to do. Derek kept emphasizing that there's no way he's going to appease to a jury and make a move. He's all about a 5. He's all about being honest and loyal, and all this sort of stuff, and about being this team player, and then we fight it out. But Derek proved to me today that that is not the game that he's playing. Because, to me, I think it's very dangerous to bring Summer to the Final 5, especially when she has proven that she can do well at challenges. And even though she hasn't really won one, I think that she could very well win the Final 5 challenge. And what if she wins? Who is she going to target? She's made it clear that Derek is a big target and could win the game. So I think that just wasn't really smart for Derek's game. And also, if he tries to make a speech at the end talking about playing an honest and loyal game, he pretty much showed that that's not true. He completely lied to me. And you know what? It just contradicts what he's been claiming to be doing this entire season. In addition, Addie, she's also been claiming to play an honest and loyal game. And at the end of the day, she wasn't honest and loyal. She did send me a text, basically right after Tribal, 20 minutes later or so, and she said, "I'm sorry, G. Obviously, you know it was purely strategic. You played the best game, and we knew you would beat us if you made it to the end. I'm here if you want to talk." And so I was just like, okay, what happened? I would like to know. And she's like, it's purely based on who the biggest threat was, and I think people were threatened by the fact that you were so confident you were going to win the game. She's like, I'm like, people? And she's like, Mike, Derek, and I. So I'm just like, what does she mean by she thinks? She doesn't know? To me, it seems like she did not orchestrate this move to vote me out, but went along with it because of some outside influences. And she says that she thinks it's because I kept exposing my game, she thinks. But I said I didn't have the jury votes. Multiple times I was given ultimatums to vote a certain way, and if I didn't, I wouldn't have the votes. In multiple scenarios, I've been told that Derek, Mike, or Austin would win if they made it to the end over me and Addie. So to me, it makes more logical sense for Addie to go to the end with me because she had more of a fighting chance. In addition, even though I have a pretty strong resume, Addie could say, like, well, I orchestrated some of these moves that Geneva's claiming to orchestrate herself. But no, she didn't do that. In addition, she claims that she kept asking me multiple times, and I never once said yes to agree to her final 2, which is false. It is false. Just because I didn't text final 2 doesn't mean that I didn't say it. I confirmed it multiple times. Sure, she initiated it, and so were all other alliances that I was in. People initiated them with me. But I agreed to that. I agreed to it. I said yes. I said, sometimes she seemed a little like hesitant. I was like, yes, Addie. Yes. I'm going to final 2 with you. If I wasn't serious about Addie, I would have not poisoned her to allow her to get to the merge. If I was not serious about Addie, I wouldn't have sacrificed a final 3 with Summer and Abby to work with her. If I wasn't serious about Addie, I wouldn't have flipped to join her Zeleny boys. To me, I feel like actions speak louder than words. And I had been 100% loyal to Addie, never threw her name out there. And in addition, I told her I would bring her to the end because I would beat her, because according to the jury, they don't like her. She's perceived as a villain. So for my game, it made the most sense that I would bring Addie to the end. But at the end of the day, we were friends. I spent hours talking to her. So to me, for her to claim that she didn't feel like she got official confirmation that we were a final 2 and she vlogged about how she didn't feel like she had that clarity. Like, that's ridiculous. I think that's a nonsense excuse because I proved to her multiple times. Also, a DM that we had the other day, we were talking about whoever wins the challenge, who should the idol clue go to, and she's like, I don't care who goes to, just as long as Summer doesn't win. And I'm like, okay, so then if you don't want it, should I just give it to Austin? She's like, do what's best for your game, and like maybe giving it to Austin will allow him to trust you even more. And I was like, yeah, you know, I think for us, it's best for our game that we're not perceived to be a duo. And I said that. So if we're not a duo, like I don't understand. Clearly, at this point, by her voting with Mike and Derek, who are already a perceived duo, she's going to be left. She's going to be left on the outs. She's not, even if she makes it to final 2 with Mike or Derek, they're bringing her there because they know they can beat her. They have the votes and the love on the jury. She doesn't. It's a fact. So even if she makes it to final 2, I just don't see a scenario where she wins the game. I don't. It's unfortunate because she had her best shot with me. And I just don't understand the rationale of not keeping me till 5. 1, I did not have an idol. So, and I think everyone knew that. So it's like, what was the point of voting me out? Also, I don't necessarily have the support on the jury. 3 of those people have given me ultimatums in the game, and I didn't follow them. So I didn't necessarily have the votes, and I'm the most secretly hated. So to me, I think the part that's just really saddening about all of this is that Austin got left out. You know, Austin was excluded. Austin was blindsided. And I'm just like, what for? What are you 3 doing? I thought you all were about Zeleny. Like, sure, okay, exclude me and vote me out. But it's just like, I don't understand the intention of excluding Austin, so he doesn't get credit for the vote. It's just saddening. And I really hope Austin wins the final 5 challenge, or that Summer wins it, because it will be interesting to see them scramble and freak out, because at the end of the day, voting me out at 6 and leaving the risk of Summer and having a full jury of support, I don't think that was smart for any of their games. And it's not even a matter of being upset, it's just a matter of being strategic. Like, if we look at the game, I was Addie's ally. Addie got rid of me with Mike and Derek. Mike and Derek are tight. She's lost Austin's trust. And Austin wanted to do a final 3 with me and Addie. She, like, ruined a lot. In addition, Summer doesn't trust Addie because Addie, along with me, foiled her plans. And I foiled her plans twice. Summers. So I will just be interested to see what happens at Final 5. I'm rooting for Austin because at the end of the day, well, he didn't vote me out. And he also knew, he has a very analytical brain, and I've really been able to understand that over the days that I've known him. And he knows that us fighting it out at 5 made more sense. In addition, one more thing that I'd like to say is I think a bigger move would have been voting me out at 5 and voting me out at 3. Like, let's say it was me, Addie, and Austin. If me, Addie, and Austin were at 3 and she cut me and chose Austin to go to final 2, that would have been a move. That would have been the move that clinched Addie the game. But no, this move doesn't make sense for her game. And even if she makes it to the end, I don't see her having the votes. Derek's game is a little contradictory. I do think that, even though I wish that Mike stick to the 5 and stick to his claim that he wants to bring players who've played hard to the end, which he didn't bring me, I think he knew that at the end of the day, like, there was no chance of, of him winning. But he also has the jury, and he has played a strategic game. So I would have thought that Mike would have had a fighting chance. But since the jury kept saying Derek would win at the end, I knew that Derek would probably be the person eventually to get out. And Derek, I mean, from a long time ago, told Mitchell to vote me out. So it's just all unfortunate because at the end of the day, I didn't get my vengeance. And they all knew how much this meant to me, and I don't have the chance to ever play again. Meanwhile, most of them all will still at least have one potential opportunity if production decides to bring them back. But I'm a grad student in a one-year program, so I won't have the chance to win again. It's just saddening. I worked so hard to get here, and literally fought so hard. I was probably, arguably, the underdog, and I couldn't pull it through. So I'm intrigued to see what happens. I just wanted to give you all of this analysis, but at the end of the day, I think that was the worst move for a lot of their games. I think that, honestly, if Summer makes it to the end, she might win. And that proves that the move that they made was bad for their game. But we'll see who this actually ends up benefiting. I think, if anything, it may benefit Mike, but I don't know who else this is really benefiting. So I wish everybody who's in the game the best of luck, and I'm rooting for Austin to win the Final 5 challenge because it's not fun to be blindsided. And it's not fun to be left out of a group that you thought that you were part of. And the whole great thing about it is I had thanked them, literally, in that Zoom chat about how happy I was that they included me. And I appreciated how much they included me and didn't exclude me. And, you know, it's sad to see that that's what they did the next day. Voted me out. But, you know, I do understand. It's a game. And I did play the best game at that point. But strategically, that move was not the right timing. Final 5 or Final 3, that would have been the best timing to show the biggest move. At 6, not necessarily. And you kept someone in the game who has the entire jury. Well, I guess we'll see what happens, but I do want to thank Luke and production for allowing me the opportunity to play in Syrvivor Syracuse. It definitely made my year at SU special. It's just disappointing that I did not get to finish the season in person, let alone get to give my final 2 speech, because I was ready. I was ready to tell the jury why I deserved to win. Also, I technically didn't get my torch snuffed, which is pretty funny, because we were virtual. But yeah, I fought hard, and regardless of what happened, I am proud of myself, but it's just tough. It's tough. It's tough to have invested so much time and energy and put in so much hard work and talk to so many people, only to get this close and then it not work out. But I am grateful for this opportunity, so